Dear YouTube, this is my second account for this channel. The time now is 5:37 AM and the day is Thursday the 21st of January 2021. I currently have a really bad sleeping pattern, and I think it's partly due to insomnia, I don't know. And it's almost been a month since my sister has passed, and it's been just over a month since my granddad has passed. I would say that I'm feeling numb, but at the same time there's waves of pain that comes through, and I don't know if I'm just delaying the pain or not. I just know that there's times, well, it's not even times, I can distract myself from reality. But once I've realized that this is the reality, which is that my sister's passed away, it's painful, but there is a self-awareness that she's gone, but I'm still questioning, where is she and why has this happened? But at the same time there's a part of my brain that just can't accept it, although part of my brain also knows that it's the reality. It's just very hard to explain, and I don't know if it's normal to feel this way. It's just two contradicting statements. One part of me saying that that's reality, whereas one part of me saying that this is a dream, and am I living in reality? And it's really hard for me to distinguish one from the other. I won't lie and not say that I'm not having any suicidal thoughts, but they are just thoughts. I don't know, there's just it's comforting to know that there's a release, but at the same time it's scary because I can see the pain that death leaves behind, and I'm experiencing that pain, so I really don't want my parents to go through that again. And at the same time, I'm a support network for them. I'm not doing a really great job at it, but I can see myself that I'm here for them, and I can't go because I don't want them to go through another loss like this. But in doing so, am I just neglecting my own mourning? Am I just alive because she passed away? Like before, I would think about dying, but part of me was scared of dying, and at the same time scared of what death causes, like the hardship and leaving everyone behind. But now that she's passed and I've seen 2 dead bodies, and at least present for my sister, while the paramedics tried to fight for her life, I've seen one death on one announcement of death, and I don't know, part of me just not scared of dying anymore. Maybe it's because I'm looking at, I've seen 2 dead bodies of people who I really care about, and at the same time I don't know whether it's them achieving peace, but I think it's because some part of me feels so much pain or I'm feeling so much pain and hardship and so much pressure, and I'm constantly trying to distract myself from life. That's why I don't see death as scary anymore, since it's the end of everything. I won't have to think about anything anymore. But since I'm conscious right now, I know that the hardships that come after, and that's the hard part. But I always realised that before, but now the whole death part is just not scary anymore. Like jumping off a building, like if you wanna 100% die, you jump off a really, really high building, and the likelihood of you surviving is going to be very close to 0%. I mean, close to surviving is very close to 0%. I'm not talking about like fourth floor, which will probably give you a good percentage of death, but I'm talking about the top of a skyscraper or something, and the fear of falling and the adrenaline of falling off the building and then hitting at the very last moment. There might be pain there, but I guess that pain will last for half a second, and then you won't see or you won't feel anything afterwards because you're gone. And just the thought of that is, I'm not going to say it's not scary, because jumping off a building is scary, but dying itself isn't, I think. And now, because I'm talking out loud and I'm able to think more thoroughly and be honest with myself 100%, because that is the whole point of me doing these accounts. It's just being honest with myself and having a record of it online, despite it being public and hopefully anonymous. It gives me a sort of relief, and it's almost therapeutic. But yeah, I'm not suicidal now, 100%. But it's not because I see the beauty of life. If anything, I think life's cruel. That life does have its beautiful parts, but there's challenges, and I know that it's great for everyone to see things from many perspectives. Like, yeah, you gotta be open-minded, you gotta be optimistic. It's okay to be pessimistic and see negatives in things, but you also have to be optimistic. You have to be able to see things from other people's point of view, and that helps you live a more understanding life. But at the end of the day, the only perspective you can really truly live in is yourself. So anything that happens around you, I'm just going to talk of in first person. So anything that happens around me, I understand that it affects people around me as well, but ultimately it's happening to me as well. So am I selfish to say that everything that's happening is like, why is everything happening to me? And I don't mean it in a selfish way. I just mean it as in, like, I'm experiencing the pain, I'm experiencing the events, and I am aware that other people are experiencing the same thing. But is it wrong of me to just even consider that it's happening to me? Because when I bring this up, people say that it's not happening to me, and I kind of get what they're trying to say. Like, it's just not happening to me. It's not an event that's been done just to inflict pain upon me. It's inflicting pain upon everyone. But at the same time, from my perspective, it can only happen to me because I can only feel it from my perspective. And if I feel it from someone else's perspective, it's just an opinion and just me trying to fit my feet into their shoes and trying to see how they feel. But then I do consider that. But at the same time, it's like, is it bad for me to complain that everything's happening to me? And I'm usually I'm not the kind of person who ever blames something bad that happens to me on someone else. I can see how someone can make something bad happen to me. Like, for example, or maybe I shouldn't give an example, but at the same time, it's because of my own forthcoming. It's because I wasn't prepared for something that happened. Like, for instance, a job interview. If I didn't get a job, it's because I wasn't prepared enough. I don't have enough experience. There's more connections that other candidates had. The person who was chosen was probably better than me in some aspect to be chosen. Maybe something out of my control. But I never really think about that in that way. I'm always thinking that I could have done better, or I could have fixed up on the stuff I'd done wrong, because that's the only thing that I can really make a change about. I can't stop someone's actions from affecting my own result. But what I can do is make adjustments to prevent someone else affecting my results. But saying it like that sounds very vague and doesn't make any sense. And you probably don't even understand what I'm trying to say, but in my head it makes sense, because, for example, I can't stop someone from coming to an interview, but I can make sure that I prepare myself to the utmost of my ability, to give myself a better chance to show the interviewer that I'm a better candidate. But obviously there's other factors involved, like race, the interviewer's preferences, that I can't control. So whenever things happen, or something unfavorable happens to me, it's just mainly because I haven't done enough. But I feel as though this is just one of the very many rare times where I just feel like, although I could have done something different, I just kind of hate the fact that it's happened. And I guess that's gotten to the point where, or it comes to the point where I just can't accept the result of things. Like, if I failed an interview, then fine, it's something to learn about, or an opportunity to learn from. But from this, it's like I can see it as an opportunity to learn from, but the event itself is just horrific and horrible, and there's something that I just can't accept. Like, when I finished distracting myself, I just realized that the reality is she's gone. But then something in my brain kicks in, just thinking, where is she? Is there a way for her to come back? But then another part of my brain just thinks that there's no sequence of events in a controlled environment that would ever bring back another sister like that, an exactly same sister like that. Just the fact that I can never speak to her again, see her again, and she just passed away so young. She's never going to see my kids. She's never going to be there for my wedding, if I ever have a wedding. She's never going to be able to see my kids' kids. She's never going to have kids. She's never going to experience a wedding of herself. It's just, I just feel like I've done nothing as an older brother to help her. I just don't. Even growing up, I didn't really act like a great older brother. And there's so many psychological things I can look back on retrospectively and figure out why my personality is like this. Why did I treat her not the same way as I treated my little brother? And I can blame my makeup or my personality or how I grew up, and how I am, as much as I like, but I'm not that kind of person, because ultimately the way I act is my choice. No one's pushing my neck saying be mean to your sister, saying nasty things about your sister. And now it's like all the regret just builds up. I could have done better to help her. I could have done better to maybe save her. I should have been more preemptive, more proactive. But even thinking back now, it's too late. Like, I realise that. I know that it's too late. There's nothing that I can do that can bring her back. Even the gods of science can't bring my sister back. Even if we clone her, there's no way of bringing her up with me again. There's just no way. And it's that reality that pains me inside. Like right now I can understand, I can feel that I'm in a sense of disbelief. Even currently, although what I'm saying is reality, I feel as though what I'm saying is, it's just, I feel like I'm talking nonsense, but at the same time it's the reality of everything that's happening, and I don't know how to explain that, and it's crazy. And if anyone has ever, if anyone ever goes through these videos and actually listen this far in, you'd probably be thinking, what am I on about? And I guess everybody has a different way to mourn, but this feeling and this sense of disbelief, although what I'm saying is the reality, and I just don't get it. And then it goes on to the point where I just can't sleep. I have to stay up so late, like stay up for 24 hours just so that I'm so tired out just to sleep. I know it's bad for my health, I know it's worrying to my parents, and my sleeping pattern is so dislocated, and I don't know, it doesn't coincide with my parents' sleeping pattern, so then we barely even get enough time together throughout the day to talk. But at the same time, it's like I don't know what to talk about anymore. And the talks we have, I feel as though it's just small talk. But is that good enough? Is that what my parents just want? I really don't know. But yeah, I'm just gonna end the recording now. Thanks.